Heyo, Shinyan Kuala, or Happy Chinese New Year, or Happy Lunar New Year if you're not in China. But it's Chinese New Year now, and I just kind of want to go over some of the things, something you got very important to keep in mind if you're planning on teaching ESL overseas. And also, I bring this up now because I'm near the end of my contract. And the thing you got to keep in mind is that you're probably going to have a lot more stuff at the end of the year than you had at the beginning of the year, just because you have to buy a lot of the necessities and conveniences for living overseas. And I've started to go through the process of breaking everything down. And I just kind of want to give you a heads up give everybody a heads up on what that entails. Now I'm for instance, I mean, all the bedding, all of your utensils, anything you got, rice cooker, tea kettle, all these utensils and dishes and floor mats and anything you got. I mean, that's all stuff that you're going to have to either throw out if you're going back home or send it home somehow, and that's pretty costly. So it's a lot of money you're just kind of throwing out the window. I've seen people give it away. More commonly, they give it away to other foreigners. I've seen some garage sales where they try and dump stuff. Me, personally, this year, I'm moving on to another job in China, so I've decided to rent a car and get as much of it in these sort of containers as I can, especially like the school stuff that I've been using for the past year, because this is all stuff that comes in handy from job to job, and I hope to be able to transport it down there and have it there when I arrive by car. But some other things, I had to release my birds. They weren't something, I wasn't going to be carrying them on a train or anything, and I really couldn't bring them down there without leaving them alone, having to leave them there for a period of time unattended. So I thought the best option for them was just kind of let them go, and I've let them free. Other things of mine is basically I just want to walk out of here with one suitcase come the time that I have to vacate this apartment. So that's what I'm in the process of doing now. I'll keep you updated. I'll show you maybe some more of when I get to the next leg of this journey. I'll show you some of that. But I just kind of wanted to give everybody a heads up on that one of the big expenses, and also one of the big problems that arises is always leaving at the end of your contract, and what you're going to do with this actually costs a lot of money. A lot of this stuff here, you can consider probably put in a good $3,000-4,000 just in sort of living expenses. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, good morning. Just want to talk a little bit about yesterday. I went to the hot springs at Dinosaur Park, Dino Hot Springs here in Changzhou, the other day. I want to just kind of go over that, show you a little bit about it. Well, first of all, Dinosaur Park is it's kind of like an amusement park, much like Disney, with a theme about dinosaurs. I believe because Changzhou is there's been a lot of fossil finds in Changzhou, so they have a park dedicated to dinosaurs, and it's pretty nice from what I've seen. I have not gone into the park completely. I've not bought a ticket to go inside the park. There's there's a large sort of veranda and mall and sort of strolling area, shopping area that is attached. I've been through there quite frequently. And there's also hot springs, which is considered a natural geothermic hot springs. And I went to that the other day. And no, it's quite enjoyable. I had a really good day. The hot springs is it's a little bit like an adult water park, or you could say like a kid's spa. Um, I say that just because it had like sort of these sort of fun things to do. You had like aloe springs, which was all green water with tinged with aloe vera. You had red wine springs, which I believe was just kind of red food coloring. You had milk springs. You had this thing called fish kisses, which was pools with little fish in there, and the little fish come up and they eat the dead skin off your body. It's kind of a strange feeling, and a little bit like electric tingling in your body, having all these fish covering your body and basically eating you. That costs a little bit more. Like first your price. It was 228 kwai to enter the springs. You go up into the men's room. It's a communal men's room. You get changed. There's showers there. They give you a towel. Then you walk down out into the springs area, which is kind of communal for men and women. There's also a lot of like therapeutic pools, with different kind of water massages going on. There's like a vortex one that goes around. There's ones that are the water contains minerals which are specific to certain ailments. Like there was one for diarrhea. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go in the diarrhea one because I'm kind of fearful of anybody who was suffering from diarrhea. Kind of addressing that in the pool. I didn't go in that one, but they had ones for like blood and stuff like that, and the blood one was kind of. I felt a little woozy after I stayed in there for a good 10 minutes, and then I got out of it, and I felt a little kind of strange. So that's the water park, and after that you can go up and you can shower, and it's all there's like tea. There's like a black tea and a green tea all over the park that you could drink. It was just a really good time. I guess, like I said, it was like an adult water park, because it was kind of fun. I haven't gone into the park proper just because I'm feel a little bit awkward going there alone and getting on rides and stuff. It just, I don't know, it's starting to feel kind of strange to me. Although I wouldn't hesitate to do that in Disney World. Anyway, I just kind of want to go over that. It's something that's kind of cool in Changzhou to do, and I would definitely recommend it to anybody who's staying here or coming through Changzhou to check that out. I've been to one other hot springs in China when my first year in China in Jiangxi province, and it was really a great experience that also because it was a holiday and we had gone out. I was on a date and it was a holiday and we had gone out to a mountain range, and it was suggested to me that there was a hot springs nearby, so we went to it. And this was a really rural sort of setting. It was just mostly countryside, and we went to this little hot springs out there in the country, and it was really sort of inconspicuous. It was just kind of like you would never guess it was a hot springs. It's these little concrete buildings out in the middle of rice fields somewhere, and you went in and you paid. It was like what, 20 kwai or something. And we went in. There was a men's side and a women's side, and all the men were naked in there. And you just sat in the pool there, but it was this big pool that you could see was being fed with water, and that was just really enjoyable to me because it was very sort of a, like a watering hole kind of experience, in the country. When I was a kid growing up, we used to go to watering holes out in the rivers and things like that, and this is what kind of felt like that, but for the Chinese. And it wasn't very crowded, and we just kind of relaxed, and it was very soothing, and I remember that experience very good. I remember that date pretty well also. It was kind of a interesting date that I had. But that's my second hot springs here. Another good thing about the hot springs here, it wasn't sleazy. Like one of the worst things about some of these spas and massage parlors is that they get sleazy, and you do have the prostitution angle there. This one was more family oriented, so it was kind of classy. But you could bring your kids there, and so it was enjoyment, and not sort of it wasn't anything prurient about it. It was just kind of a spa, and people were relaxing, and it was a really nice day here in Changzhou. So I wanted to share that with you at the end of the video. All right, everybody, stay tuned. I'm gonna take off. We'll check you next time. I look forward to my next videos in the coming year. Take it easy.